Hey folks, beautiful day here in Flagstaff again. Gonna roll out. Uh, got a few things in mind, so I'll get back with you. Well, thinking maybe a homeless person camped here. Well, just stepped off the trail here, the base of the mountain. I'm really close to that place. It looks like a homeless individual set up a little camp, left their trash, socks, shirt. I always, uh, I always learn lessons, special lessons, when I come out here in the wilderness. Looking at that homeless camp made me think of choices. Choices. We all have the ability to analyze, dissect, contemplate, weigh out options, weigh out rewards, consequences. When it comes to making choices, think about it. Every single day, sometimes moment by moment, hour by hour, week by week, month by month, year by year, second by second, we're involved in making choices. I think it's one of the greatest gifts we have as human beings is the ability to look at something, weigh things out, analyze it, look at the pros, the cons, and make a choice. We make choices when it comes to what girlfriend we're going to be with for a while or marry. We make choices about jobs and educational opportunities. We make choices about friends places to go, food to eat, groceries to buy, choices. As I said, I think it's one of the greatest gifts we have in the context of freedom. Choices is an important, if not one of the most important ingredients of freedom. The ability to choose. Think about that. This homeless person here, you wonder what brought that individual to this place. It's a choice made. But what brought that individual as far as his or her history and the choices that were made for X amount of years? What choices brought that individual to this place to stay all night? One night, 2 nights, who knows? From where I'm standing, I can see Burger King bag. The individual made a choice to buy Burger King. Why not McDonald's, Wendy's, or many, many other options? But the choice was made to buy a Burger King. Apparently, the individual was hungry for a Burger King, or being in a homeless condition, maybe somebody, ran up to him and said, here's something to eat, and it was a Burger King. Now, there are certain situations in life where we don't make choices, at least initially. For example, you don't choose the day you're born. You don't choose who your parents are. You don't choose your physical features, your physicality. You don't choose your DNA, your genetics, your ancestral lineage. You don't choose those things. Huh. You don't choose your relatives. In your initial formative years growing up, you don't choose your environment, the atmosphere, the influences of your environment. No, you don't choose those things. Once again, in those initial years of formation and growing up, maturing, you don't choose the schools you go to initially. Those choices are made for you. The classes you take in those early years of schooling, from kindergarten to 12th grade, you really don't get much choice in the classes you take. It's all planned out for you. You don't get a choice in your teachers. When you go to college, university, college, then you can start making choices. You can start exercising the freedom to make choices. Many times growing up, you don't have the choice of the religious environment you're raised in. Some people are raised in cults. I was. I didn't know it when I was a young kid growing up, but I found out later. And then I had the ability to make a choice to stay or leave. As you're growing up, you don't have a choice in the political environment. If your parents are Democratic, Democrats, Republicans, Independents, or nothing, you can't make those choices until you begin to step into your individuality, your own personal sovereignty, to express the freedom of choice. Choice is amazing, isn't it? It's fascinating. It's fascinating. So many years of our life, depending on the impact of influences and how we're nurtured and raised in a particular environment. So many years can be wasted and not realize the power in an individual's freedom to make choices. I know for many years, because of how I was raised in a religious cult, um, I was beat down. I was oppressed. I lived in fear. I didn't know it. I knew something was wrong. I lived in fear, this heavy, oppressive fear. And it stayed with me for many, many years, even into my adult years. This ugly, nasty, oppressive poison in my gut. I'd want to step out and do something. And then that fear would grip me because I had no self esteem, I had no confidence. All my life, I've been told, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. That's wrong. No, that's wrong. No, that's okay, but that's wrong. Whew. It was a hell of a roller coaster ride. I lived in this ugly, demonic, oppressive fear. It wasn't until I was in my 30s that I finally began to see some daylight, that I could start making choices. And I didn't have to be afraid. I remember when I started attending well, not but the stepdad that I had when I started attending his church. Of course, I was raised in that environment. And then for a few years, I stayed away. I should have stayed away forever. But that fear gripped me. What if this is right? What if what he's saying and what these other ministers are saying, what if it's right? So afraid, so scared, so numb to the possibility of other possibilities. It's tough years. For days and days and days, it felt like I couldn't breathe. I get off by myself and just try to clear my mind and my emotions, and it was like I was hyperventilating. Ah, I hated it. Yeah, I really hated it. Then one day, then one day I woke up like uh, like I'd been living in this dark, dark hole, this dark tunnel for years and years. And then all of a sudden, I woke up. Sorry, I put my hand in front of it. Sorry about that. Yeah, I woke up. Began to see a little glimmer of light. I started moving toward the light. You see, when you're in that kind of mindset, in that kind of emotional prison, that intellectual prison where you can't think for yourself. Everything goes through this, in my case, through this man-made, man-concocted filter. When you're like that, everything's a prison. It's like a death sentence. Your emotions are in prison. Your intellect is in prison. Your ability to analyze, discern, perceive. It's all locked away in this prison of fear. That's why now I'm a firm believer in the Creator, Almighty God, and I know that what I read in the scriptures is true. I see it. I see it before me every day. However, I detest man-made religion. The Bible did not come, the prophets and the apostles and Jesus himself, he did not come to start a religion. He come to love and set us free from all of those oppressive fears and insecurities and lies. It says in there, you will know the truth. The truth will set you free. And that's what began to set me free as I continue to walk towards that light. Begin to see what love and freedom was all about. I don't care if you're talking about governments, politics, religion, churches, homes, houses, families, moms, dads, teachers, all walks of life. Many of those individuals in your lifetime are tyrants, despots. They control, they manipulate, dominate. How? By fear. Fear, control. I met many tyrannical preachers in my life. When they stood behind that pulpit, their word was law. Yeah. And they could twist them scriptures any way they wanted to. Keep the people in prison and bondage and fear. Yeah. Politics does the same thing. Science does the same thing. Heads of organizations do the same thing. Tyrants. Look at the news. Look at the news, folks. Negative, 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 negative. What does it create? Fear, insecurity. Oh, what are we going to do? The government's got to come up with a solution. We don't know what to do because you've lost your ability to think, to create. You've lost your individual sovereignty, your ability to choose, to analyze, to research, to weigh things out, to look at the pros and cons. No, we got to hear it from the government. We got to hear it from some politician. We got to hear it from some preacher. Really? Well, excuse my blatant, crude words. It's all bullshit, filled with lies. A lie will bring you under the captivity of fear in the blink of an eye if you don't stop and research. Think for yourself. Figure it out for yourself. Look what they're trying to do. They're trying to captivate the child's mind before the ability to choose rationally, logically. What are they trying to do? Control the child's mind. Hey, if you don't want to be a boy, you can change that. But I'm only 6 years old. It doesn't matter. You don't even have to tell your parents. You want to be a girl instead of a boy? You want to be a boy instead of a girl? It's okay. It's demonic, friends. It's demonic. That's why each and every day I find ways to continue to disconnect from this absolute, ugly, vile, oppressive, lying society. Ah, I detest it. It stinks. Leave me alone. Well, that's just some breadcrumbs along the trail. I thought I'd leave you. We'll come back to it later. Till next time, learn to think, know what you're looking at, weigh it out pro, con, good, evil, reward, destructive. Is it good for me? Is it going to destroy me? You have the power of choice. Sure do. God bless.